Welcome to your Daily 5 for Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. I'm sure many of you have seen the news by now that Disney has canceled the latest Star Wars series, The Acolyte, after a single season. A single season, from what I understand, that ended on a pretty big couple of cliffhangers and was meant to be, and I didn't know this until I'd seen the cancellation post, was meant to be part of a big push to do a bunch of new stuff in the High Republic era of the Star Wars universe, which could be interesting. And apparently that's still going to continue, just not with the live action in the same way that it was planned to before. And of course, this is just the latest in different series that were supposed to go on for a while and get canceled after one season, leaving a lot of people in the lurch who actually enjoyed the show that wanted to see it continue, and not allowing any possibility for any of the problems that other people may have had to actually get rectified and improved in further seasons. This is a thing that doesn't happen anymore. And it's baffling to me. And I think maybe it is coming to an end because I feel like a lot of people are sick of this whole thing where, well, why would we watch a series? Kind of what I've been saying for a while. Why start a series if you don't have any guarantee it's going to get at least one more run at getting better? What's the point? Why invest the time? Even shorter run series, because yes, now most series are 8 to 10 episodes and not 24, but even that, most of these are still long, hour, 40-minute episodes. And why spend 8 to 10 hours on something if it's just going to get wiped away and you won't have any actual conclusion to it? And I thought about Star Trek. And actually, in this one rare regard, Paramount, I have to give credit. They gave Discovery 5 seasons when I think a lot of people had started checking out at season 3. But it did get 5 seasons and had an ending, which a lot of series don't get. But even going further back, what a lot of people may not know, either because you weren't alive at the time or have forgotten, is Next Generation was not exactly well received when it first was being pitched and when it came out. And its first couple seasons are pretty rough. And Deep Space Nine, I remember that when it came out, and that was even worse. I remember people saying that there was no way that would make it past the season because there were no starships. It wasn't the Enterprise. It was an alien space station over a planet, which meant they weren't going to be going anywhere, which was, of course, a dumb thing to think. But it became one of the most regarded, if not, it's definitely up in the conversation of top 3 Star Trek series ever. Deep Space Nine comes up multiple times, but there too. The first season of that, which I do think is better than Next Generation's first season, but it had to take time to find an audience and find its voice. Parks and Rec, there's an even better example. Parks and Recreation, the comedy series, started off as a frankly inferior copy of The Office in what it was trying to do, and then it became its own thing and became so much better. And that concept is one that I think these studios are going to have to start accepting is going to be how you have to approach things. It can't be that if you don't get 5 million viewers on every episode consistently, you just cancel the series, because eventually nobody's going to bother to start watching them. They'll just wait, kind of what I do. Eventually people will become wise to the fact that why would I start a series with no real commitment to it actually ending? Same thing with movies. That's what's happened with, well, Disney's feeling it with Star Wars, certainly. Then Marvel basically has seen that happen, and DC before them, where if we have to plan 5 movies out, that's putting an awful lot on every single movie being able to deliver the next movie, and it becomes a bit exhausting. Maybe we just make one movie. Hey, Deadpool Wolverine, one movie. Now, I know Deadpool and Wolverine relies on a lot of knowledge of all the stuff that's gone on in other movies, but as a movie itself, it doesn't require a sequel. It exists on its own. It's telling its own story. It's not setting up 4 more Deadpool films. And that's the thing I think we're going to start to see more of, because not only just because financially it makes sense, but also I feel like that fatigue is not really because of the stories being told. It's the manner in which they are being delivered. And it is with this idea that, for a couple of years there, you knew that anything you watched from Star Wars or Marvel or even DC, you knew you were going to have to watch something else, either to understand what you were seeing currently or to be able to complete the story, which was just moronic and was never going to last. That it just isn't something that everybody can do. Some can, but you have to have a mix. So I'm hoping that what we're seeing here is a return to an idea that used to exist, which is instead of having to make everything good or excellent, let's just focus on making one good thing and see if it leads to something else organically and then build on it. I really hope that is the message. It probably isn't, but that is what I would hope some of the messaging from all these failures and cancellations ends up being. I don't know if it will be, but you know what? At some point, you just have to have hope that something will improve. Later.